And after the show wrapped, I didn't date for quite a while just because it was a very traumatic experience.
Were you hesitant about getting back on the dating scene after Love is Blind came out? Because I know that you said, it was definitely hard for you after the show aired. So were you kind of reluctant, like feeling like, can I even trust these people anymore? Are they in it for the wrong reasons? I mean, I'm sure that was difficult for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a thought in my mind as the DMs were coming in, and I know a lot of my castmates have similar stories. It was definitely a thought in my mind, but once you get to know somebody and really understand, their intentions and things like that. But yeah, it's definitely a different game once you have that following and things like that. And after the show wrapped, I didn't date for quite a while just because it was a very traumatic experience. And then once it aired, truthfully, I wasn't even thinking about dating because it was just so crazy. Obviously, things did not look good the way they came out. And, more than anything, I was just trying to duck and cover and fly under the radar. But he found me. So it was kind of nice. And then my friend continued managing my Instagram, and I could really kind of focus on my relationship with Ben. And it was really a nice distraction from all the other things that were happening so publicly.
You said a little bit before that, Love is Blind was a traumatic experience for you. Now that it's been a couple years since you filmed the show, and it, almost 2 years since the show aired, which is crazy. Yeah. How do you feel about the experience now?
Oh, I feel that everything happens for a reason. So this last release that came out with After the Altar was, I think, a lot more accurate in terms of the portrayal of some of the things that were going on behind the scenes, and really helped to take some of the burden off of me in terms of, things that I felt that were not accurate portrayal of the truth of the relationship between myself and Mark. So that really helped. Obviously there were still some negative feelings there with some of the cast members. Obviously that was really hard to kind of face, but that's okay. That's their prerogative. And, I just feel really good about where everything landed. I've got some great relationships with some of the people on the show. You got an invite coming for Kenny's wedding in a couple of months, and I'm actually later today meeting up with Elsie and Kelly for brunch in San Diego. So really, looking back on the experience, I feel really good that I participated in it. Obviously some tough things to go through, but I'm really glad that I did that in front of the world. I think there were a lot of lessons in there, for myself and some for others, and just getting that feedback really helps me feel good about the decision to go through all of that.
Yeah. I mean, what would you say was the biggest lesson that you learned about yourself going through all that?
Just the strength that I have and that I can persevere through anything, and just, knowing my truth at the end of the day is enough. Yeah. Because it was tough when the media and, the audience that was watching, felt that they had all of the information and they were making judgments. And that was really tough to sit with because there were things that I couldn't say. But just having the strength to persevere through that and know who I was at the end of the day and keeping my faith.
Yeah. I mean, I know that you said you felt like one of the most hated people in reality TV. I mean, that must've been like really, really tough to kind of go through that and not being able to kind of say your side of the story, until many, many months later.
Exactly. It was definitely one of the hardest things that I've had to do. But I felt that it all, in the end, was kind of serendipitous and happened in the right time. Because then people could see, hey, this reflection that I had of her wasn't accurate, and maybe I shouldn't make snap judgments in the same way moving forward. And hopefully there was kind of a broader lesson in all of that. I mean, certainly there are things I would do differently. And some of the things that I did, I wasn't proud of. But at the end of the day, the way that everything came to the light in the end, I think shed some light on the fact that reality television isn't always an accurate lens.
Yeah, not always what it seems. Have you spoken to Mark at all since the reunion? Did he reach out to congratulate you about the engagement or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. I think it's funny, every time I have any type of news, it's like he's out there in the media one-upping me, because I think he announced that they were pregnant again the day after our news came out. So I don't think he's doing that on purpose. It just happens to be the case. It's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny. I mean, what do you think about him being a dad? I mean, you know, and now almost a dad times two.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he wants. So he's said that since day one and proves, you know, to be the case. So I'm happy for them. They're growing their family and, you know, that's their journey.
Yeah. I mean, are you still surprised that Amber and Barnett and Lauren and Cam are still together?
No, I'm not. I think they all kind of found their person. I feel, you know, pretty confident in that. I know Amber and Barnett have had their ups and downs. They've been pretty public about that, but I think they'll find their way. They've been through quite a bit together. I think even all of us in this experience, you know, being on a show for the first season, we didn't know what was coming at us. And going through that together is quite an experience. So we're all kind of bonded. And I can't imagine, you know, the couples that actually got married and are staying together, how they're really bonded together through what they went through. So
definitely.